Breaking news today. On New Year's Eve, Russia recruits migrants to fight in Ukraine. Several local media outlets have reported that Vladimir Putin used the New Year's Eve festivities as an opportunity to gather those who were believed to be immigrants without proper documentation and compel them to join his war against Ukraine without delay. St. Petersburg was the site of 3,000 detentions as police checked everyone they could find in an effort to prevent crime, according to the Kremlin's RIA news agency, as a consequence of Putin's invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent international isolation. Russia's economy is reeling, yet labor migrants from Central Asia play an essential role across the board. But Putin seems to be enlisting their help to compensate for the massive losses he has sustained in Donetsk and Kharkiv, despite his continuous demonization of them as not an easy problem to be resolved. According to the Moscow Times, some of the migrants detained in various Russian towns were immediately issued military summonses, while others were dragged into military enlistment centers without their will. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia are among the most common Central Asian countries represented among the migrants. More than 600 individuals were apprehended on suspicion of violating various provisions of migratory laws, according to the authorities. It was also stated in the report that over 100 individuals are now facing deportation. Authorities in Moscow reportedly detained a man from Tajikistan who was disguised as Santa Claus, according to Russian online news outlet Soda. According to news outlet Bumaga, the raids took place on Sunday night near metro stations and popular gathering places for ringing in the new year, like squares in central St. Petersburg. The investigative committee, the highest Russian investigative body, announced that 3 foreign nationals would be charged with acts of hooliganism against Russian military in the city of Chelyabinsk in the country's west-central region. One soldier was assaulted with a baton, the committee announced on its official Telegram channel, following an attack on 2 young men demobilized from the front line by a mob of inebriated migrants. Since the Kremlin has such tight control over the Russian media, it is impossible to independently verify the reports. More than 10 million people have migrated to Russia in search of work, according to Putin's recent speech. After suffering heavy losses in Ukraine, the Russian government has become increasingly frantic to increase its military capabilities. One of these desperate measures is raising the age limit for mandatory military service. Putin raised the cap on his military forces by 170,000 troops, bringing the total to 1.32 million, in a directive he signed last month. Putin is taking action as Western backing for Ukraine wanes and sanctions against Russia fizzle out, in an effort to mend fences damaged by the conflict in Ukraine. Russian diplomats have been going above and beyond to bring Moscow's allies closer together, capitalizing on the South's animosity toward the West. Even if New Delhi is afraid of Moscow becoming a junior partner to China, its archenemy, Putin now sees a chance to prevent longtime ally India from moving closer to U.S. orbit. Rumors of a meeting between Putin and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have been circulating since India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar returned from a 5-day trip to Russia, which was seen as a stunning defiance of Western efforts to isolate Putin. In the 2 years following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Modi skipped his yearly summit with Putin. Now, though Putin might be making contact, both nations have elections in the first half of this year, making it difficult for a potential Modi-Putin summit, a signal that the non-Western world is prepared to re-embrace Putin, to take place. While Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, is widely believed to be the obvious favorite to win India's general elections, Putin is aiming for a 5th term in March, with the polls seemingly firmly in his favor. The first summit of the expanded BRICS group, which Modi is likely to attend, will be hosted by Putin, creating a chance for the meeting. The tentative date for that meeting, though, is October. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa will all be present at the BRICS meeting. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, and Ethiopia, who were admitted last year, will also be there. Putin sees it as proof that the Western Bloc, led by the United States, is losing ground. It was clear during Jaishankar's visit to Moscow how seriously Russia and India take their time-tested, mutually beneficial relationship. His eighth meeting with Sergei Lavrov in a year demonstrates how Russia and India have endeavored to maintain their friendship in defiance of Western pressure over the past 2 years. Only China and India have not denounced Moscow's conduct during Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Professor Andrei Volodine of the Diplomatic Academy and Principal Research Fellow at the Institute for Scientific Information in Social Sciences, INIAN. Russian Academy of Sciences, argues that 2 main factors are responsible for the improvement of relations between Russia and India. According to Volodine, who spoke with International Business Times via email, the first is that Russia's so-called special military operation made India all of a sudden a real world power. The second is that economic cooperation, which was previously seen as a weak leg in their relationship, is quickly becoming stronger. In an effort to evade the squeeze of Western sanctions, Russia has turned to friendlier Asian economies, including India, which has become its second biggest economic partner, behind China. Skillful diplomacy by New Delhi. India has skillfully avoided the geopolitical pitfalls caused by China's brazen support for Russia. While urging a peaceful end to the crisis, New Delhi has been careful not to appear to support an invasion. The world's most populous nation, India, has been able to weather the storm of a weakening global economy by chowing down on cheap Russian oil and ignoring the prospect of Western sanctions. In an effort to rein in China, Washington has been courting New Delhi and has covertly acknowledged India's assertion that it has the right to purchase oil from any nation that happens to have it. 80% of India's crude oil and 50% of its natural gas come from outside sources. Jaishankar and Lavrov spoke about the need of increasing defense cooperation, including cooperative weapon manufacture under Modi's Make in India program. Even if India is increasing its purchases of US weapons. The southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu is home to India's Kudankulam nuclear power project, where the country has also reached deals to install more power-generating units. Russia provided assistance in developing the plan. As a result of its alliance with Russia that dates back decades, India continues to reap evident benefits.